everyone, this is Sid here, and welcome back to another video. In case you live under a rock or somehow haven't already noticed, it is Christmas time! Let's go! So, since it is Christmas, I'm going to be doing the Sid Loves to Draw Christmas Special! Yay! Basically, I'm going to be explaining the lore of Christmas in my fantasy story. But first, I have to warn y'all, I am a huge theater kid, so I was in The Lion King a few days ago, and I swear to God, every single person in that cast got sick either right before the show, during the show, or right after the show. So, I did catch the Lion King flu, and my voice is a little bit scratchy today, but I am trying my best, so please bear with me. If I was making this video for any other reason, I'd probably just wait until a few days from now until my voice sounds a lot better, but since it is the Christmas special and Christmas only rolls around once per year, I kind of have to do it right now. At the time of me filming this, it is like December 23rd, so I really do hope that I feel better by tomorrow or the next day, because I really don't want to be sick on Christmas. That would be like a major oof. But yeah, usually I don't script out my videos, but since I am feeling kind of under the weather right now, and I want this to be like as streamlined as possible and not get like too sidetracked and carried away, I did script out this video, so hopefully I don't sound too terribly robotic, but if I do, once again, I apologize ahead of time. And yeah, but anyways, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Basically, Christmas as we know it in the modern day and age does not exist in my fantasy story. Like, there's no Santa Claus, no elves, no reindeer, no North Pole, etc. But there is a very similar holiday where once per year, all the people of the Snowy Kingdom prepare for a fun-filled festival. They set up evergreen trees and decorate them with glowing lights and big, bright stars. Neighbors join together and sing cheerful songs, and families gather together to celebrate a holiday that feels a lot like Christmas, at least to me. And this holiday in my fantasy story is called Catho-Lentalia. While it's remembered in the present day in my fantasy story as a celebration of warmth, gratitude, and love, its origins are actually incredibly dark, rooted in fear, imprisonment, and sacrifice. To understand Catho-Lentalia's origins, we have to go back 5,000 years. 5,000 years before the present day of my fantasy story, and just for some context, the present day is the time period when Destiny, Leona, and all of them live. Three figures existed in a very different era: Ash, Crow, and Ravana. And you might be thinking, if you've been around on my channel for any length of time now, hey, wait a second, Sid. I thought Ash, Crow, and Ravana all lived during the same time period as Destiny. That would be right, they all do. But that's only because they time traveled. Now, I know time traveling can be very complicated, so please just bear with me. But at first, Ash just sort of existed, you know, minding his own business, but as he grew older, his power started going out of control, and he was wreaking havoc and chaos everywhere he went. So when the King of the Sunny Kingdom realized that Ash was a spawn of darkness, he started hunting him down like a wild animal. The king sent hundreds of knights on a search for Ash, placing a bounty on his head. Whoever came back with Ash's body would be greatly rewarded. Ash didn't know what to do or how to escape. Obviously, he didn't want to die right then and there, but all he had was a strange, powerful crystal, gifted to him by his late mother. In his moment of greatest desperation, the crystal saved him by taking him 5,000 years into the future, far away from the knights who wanted to kill him. Since they were all very close at the time that he used it, the crystal also accidentally transported Crow and Ravana to the future as well. Obviously, the knights who were chasing him down were very, very furious and confused. How could Ash just vanish without a trace? But after hearing the news of Ash's sudden disappearance, the king became obsessed with finding answers. Overwhelmed with paranoia, the king convinced himself that the people of the Snowy Kingdom had somehow helped Ash to escape, or were helping him hide. Determined to find Ash, the king ordered the construction of a massive military base within the Snowy Kingdom's territory. Royal knights flooded the land, scouring everywhere for signs of Ash. Citizens were dragged from their homes, questioned, and accused. When people didn't have any answers, they were taken far away to the north, to a place where few people returned alive. a prison of ice and snow. Thousands of innocent souls lied there freezing, in the cold, in the dark, forgotten. All because of the Sunny Kingdom's king and his cruel obsession with finding Ash. Among the Snowy Kingdom and its people were two young girls named Natalia and Noella. Natalia, not Natalia. I can't say Natalia with a straight face because it's the same name as this hoity-toity Italian restaurant in my hometown, and it just cracks me up every time that I think about it. But yeah, why did I choose these names, you might be asking? Well, Natalia is Latin meaning born on Christmas Day, and Noella is French meaning Christmas. I first learned about this in 4th grade because my English teacher was named Natalie, and I don't really know why, but it's just stood out to me ever since. I thought it was really, really cool. But anyways, one cold winter afternoon, Natalia and Noella, or Nat and Noel, as we like to call them for short, were playing outside in the snow with their friends, laughing, singing, having a good time, you know, completely unaware of the blatant dangers all around them, when suddenly the weather changed and a snowstorm kicked in. Thick, violent, and blinding. Nat and Noel were separated from the rest of their friends, and when the snowstorm cleared, the knights were waiting to take Nat and Noel up to the northern prison. And drawing break! Sorry guys, my bad. I just know I have to talk about this art in the background sometime before we move on. Basically, here I'm drawing a picture of Destiny and Leona decorating for Catherine and Talia. Destiny's wearing a wreath around her neck, and Leona is sort of leaning up next to her. Honestly, I don't know if they would even have wreaths in my fantasy story, but oh well. I thought this would be a really cute picture, so I decided to draw it. That's my logic. I also realized that I don't have nearly enough pictures of Destiny and Leona together, so I wanted to draw something cute with both of them. I really do think that they are a pretty cute mother-daughter pair, so yeah. I definitely want to draw more art of them in the future. I wanted to start off with a really cute and cozy image here because Catherine and Talia feels fun and joyful in the present day of my fantasy story, but it's actually rooted in a dark, cruel past. But anyways, let's get back into the lore of Catherine and Talia, shall we? Enter Nat and Noel's father named Atticus. Why is he named Atticus? Well, I don't really know. I just really like that name. I think it sounds really cool, and at the time of me writing this story, which was about a year ago at this point, we had just finished reading the novel To Kill a Mockingbird for my English class, and the dad in that book was named Atticus. I thought he was a pretty good dad. He taught his kids some valuable life lessons, and there's also a pretty funny Christmas scene in that book. It's a pretty good book overall. I really enjoyed it. Go check it out if you haven't already. But anyways, Atticus, being a very loyal and determined father, refused to accept Nat and Noel's disappearance without a logical explanation, so he searched every path, every road, and every village looking for his daughters. He searched for 12 days, hence 12 days of Christmas. I have lots of random references and tie-ins here that don't really mean anything. I just thought they would be really funny. So yeah, 12 days of exhaustion, 12 days of freezing cold, no sign of his daughters. But on the 12th day, he met someone very unexpected. Her name was Lenny, and she was super duper cheerful and somewhat scatterbrained, to be honest. Like, she was constantly forgetting what she was doing. She seemed to have short-term memory loss, sort of like Dory from Finding Nemo. But Atticus didn't judge her or give her a hard time about it. Lenny listened closely to Atticus' story and promised that she would help him find his girls. She didn't really know how she would help him. She wasn't exactly the brightest bulb in the batch, but she just knew that she would. Because deep down inside, she felt that she had to. Like it was the only way for her to repay a debt that was long past overdue. Interesting. I wonder what that mysterious debt could be about. I don't know. I guess you'll have to learn more in a second. Little did Atticus know, but Lenny wasn't just a wandering stranger. She was actually a queen in disguise. Ooh, very interesting. She was actually Queen Catherine of the Sunny Kingdom, known for being kind, compassionate, and merciful to all, especially those of the Snowy Kingdom, and the very daughter of the king responsible for Nat and Noel's imprisonment, as well as the king that Atticus and everyone else in the Snowy Kingdom thought had died a few years before. I wonder what that could be about. How on earth is she still alive? Where has she been all this time? The truth is, Queen Catherine and a lot of her family members come from a very powerful magical bloodline, but her father grew to fear it. After seeing what terrible damage and destruction Ash's dark demonic powers could cause, Catherine's father became deathly afraid afraid of all magic, even the magic of his own family. Catherine's father sent all of his relatives with magical powers, including Catherine's aunt Judith, her sister Dorothy, and her daughter Tessie, to the prison of ice and snow. Catherine knew deep down inside of her that if she didn't do anything, she would be the next one to go. Catherine felt terribly shameful and guilty about abandoning the rest of her family to freeze to death in the ice prison, but she also knew that there was nothing she could really do to save them, and she didn't want to die alongside them. So instead, she did the unthinkable. She used her magic to cast a spell on herself and erase all of her memories, changing her identity and hiding her power. Queen Catherine became Lenny, only a shell of her former self, but safe from her father's psychopathic nature and tormented mind. I know a lot of y'all guys in my audience have read Wings of Fire, and honestly, it's very similar to that. Like how in the 7th book, when Hailstorm puts on an enchanted bracelet, he turns into Pyrite and loses all of his memories of Hailstorm. It's basically the same thing as that. Catherine has light blonde hair and light blue eyes, and Lenny has golden brown hair and light brown eyes. Catherine also wears red and Lenny wears orange, so on the surface they seem pretty different, but they have the same skin color, complexion, and face shape, so if you look close enough, they actually do look pretty similar. Somehow, Atticus helps Catherine to regain all of her memories and magical powers. Honestly, I'm still not 100% sure how this is going to happen. There's lots of like logistical errors and stuff in my story, and I really need to just sit down and edit the story and figure out how it's all going to work, but if you have any ideas, please just comment down below and let me know. Catherine, realizing what terrible things her father had done to Nat and Noelle, and what he had caused Atticus to lose, made an important decision that would change the course of history in my fantasy story forever. What did she do, you might be asking? Catherine created a star, sort of like the Christmas star. Not a deadly weapon to vanquish all the knights, not a spell of destruction to completely tear down the prison, but a nice big star shining brightly in the sky. Catherine told Atticus that in 3 days' time, this star would appear in the night sky and grant Atticus one single wish. Atticus waited and waited for what seemed like forever, and when the night finally arrived, he wished for one single thing: for the star to lead him back to his daughters. The next day, the star granted the wish and created a trail of northern lights leading the way to the prison. With his path now in place, Atticus gathered others, friends from his village, families who lost loved ones, and citizens who were tired of living in fear. And together, hand in hand, guided by the light of Catherine's star, they all marched north to the prison of ice and snow. The battle that followed was bloody and brutal, but the prison gates were broken at last. Hundreds of prisoners were freed from their freezing chains. Dorothy, Tessie, Nat, and Noelle all made it out alive, but unfortunately, Judith and Atticus did not. But time for another drawing break! Sorry I keep interrupting at the most exciting parts of the story, but let's be real, that's how it always goes down, right? Like whenever you're watching a show or program live on TV, they always just hit you with an ad right at the worst possible moment. It's so annoying. But anyways, here I'm drawing another cute picture of Destiny and Leona decorating for Catho and Talia. This time they're setting up a cute tree with a nice big bright star on top. The star on top of the tree is actually meant to represent Catherine's star, which grants Atticus's wish and guides him back to Nat and Noelle. But yeah, I just think this picture of Destiny and Leona is really cute. I really like their sweaters. I think they're super duper adorable. I tried to make them look a lot like their normal clothing, but just as like more comfy, cozy pajamas. So yeah, I tried to add all of their same colors and patterns and stuff, but just make it look a lot more soft and cozy. But back to the lore of the story. Atticus died in the midst of the battle. Though it was a terrible tragedy for all, especially Nat and Noelle, who cried for days upon days after his death. Atticus died with a smile on his face, knowing that his daughters were finally safe. I'm sorry that rhymed, I did not mean for that to rhyme. With no mom since their birth and no dad as of late, Nat and Noelle were adopted by their aunt Annabelle, Atticus's younger sister. Annabelle was sweet and kind and treated Nat and Noelle with all the care in the world, constantly reminding them of their father's great sacrifice and just how much he loved both of them. Exactly 1 year later, the star reappeared in the night sky. The next year, it reappeared once again, and the year after that, the same thing happened. Eventually, people started to notice. They realized the star would return once per year, always on the same night, a reminder of Atticus's wish and the sacrifice he made to find his daughters. Soon enough, the people of the Snowy Kingdom realized that if they made a wish on the night that the star appeared in the sky, it would be granted the following morning. This night became a holiday known as Catho Lentalia, named after Queen Catherine's dual identities, Catherine and Lenny, a testament to who she was born as and who she chose to be. She could have just chosen to be like her father and hurt everyone on the enemy's side, but instead she chose to be kind kind and compassionate, and lend a helping hand to those in need. Which is why Catherine is the patron saint of Catherine Talia. So although there is no real Santa Claus in my fantasy story, you could argue that the closest person to Santa Claus is Catherine, because the holiday really takes place because of her and is centered around her. But now we're going to be going back to the present. First we were talking about like the origins of Catherine Talia, how the holiday started, all the background info, and all of that great stuff. Now we're going to be talking about how the holiday is celebrated in the present day of my fantasy story. So, in the modern day and age, Catherine Talia is mostly celebrated in the Snowy Kingdom. I don't really know why, but they do not usually celebrate it in the Sunny Kingdom. Probably because the whole entire reason why it's celebrated in the Snowy Kingdom is because, like, it was sort of a celebration of freedom from the Sunny Kingdom, and the Sunny Kingdom people probably just want to, like, forget about it and pretend that it didn't happen and all of that great stuff. So, they're probably just, like, ignoring it, you know? And yeah. But in the Snow Kingdom, every time that Catherine Talia rolls around, pine trees are decorated with lights and stars, neighbors join together, hold hands, and sing songs, families gather together, and gifts are exchanged. At the end of the night, the whole entire town unites to sing a song of thanks and gratitude for the love that they have for each other. During the later half of my fantasy story with Destiny and the group visit the Snow Kingdom whilst everyone is preparing for Catherine Talia. At first, Destiny is pretty confused. She's like, what the heck is going on? But then Crow, who, if you remember, is from the Snowy Kingdom, explains that they're setting up for a holiday taking place in a few days. Then Destiny realizes that Catherine Talia falls on her birthday. In my fantasy story, Catherine Talia is sort of like a combination of Christmas and New Year's, because the celebration aspect is really similar to Christmas, but the actual holiday itself always falls on the first day of the year, with Christmas Eve, or Catherine Talia Eve in this case, being on New Year's Eve, or the last day of the year. And in my fantasy story, Destiny was born on the first day of the year. Crow recalls an ancient prophecy from an age long past. The princess who shall berid the land of darkness shall be born on Catherine Talia. As a member of the royal bloodline, Destiny is actually a distant descendant of Catherine and Tessie. So, in a way, she's sort of connected to the holiday of Catherine Talia. It all leads back to her. If you think of Santa Claus having sort of like a family bloodline or like legacy, you could almost say that Destiny is sort of part of the Santa Claus legacy, because she is a descendant of Queen Catherine, who is basically Santa Claus in my fantasy story. But in the end, Catherine Talia is not just a holiday in my fantasy story, or an excuse to ask for gifts and all that great stuff. It's a reminder of hope, community, teamwork, and the love that families have for each other. And that, my friends, is the lore of Catherine Talia in my fantasy story. And I low-key forgot the explanation for my other drawing. Okie dokie, so I'm gonna have to go back and record that. For this drawing, I basically just drew Destiny inside of a Christmas stocking, or I guess in this case, Catherine Talia stocking. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm not even sure if stockings would exist in my fantasy story, since, like, I don't know about y'all guys, but when I think of stockings, I just think of how we usually put them on the mantle above the chimney for Santa to put stuff in when he comes down. But as we established earlier, Santa doesn't really exist in my fantasy story unless you want to stretch things and say that Catherine is Santa. But anyways, I just thought it looked really cute and represented the comfy, cozy vibes pretty well. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Once again, I am so sorry that my voice is so incredibly hoarse. I would have definitely waited until I could have a better voice to film this video, but as I said earlier, that wasn't really an option. I've been sort of sick since like December 20th, and yeah. This video is literally 40 minutes long. It might just be because I am so sick and I had to take breaks like periodically throughout, so hopefully when I'm editing it, I can trim it down like by at least half, but I don't know. Before I get too deep into the outro section of this video, I did want to mention very briefly that this video is actually in collaboration with Ray Likes to Animate. Ray Likes to Animate is one of my closest YouTube friends, and I always like to look at all of her content and all of that great stuff. And I did notice that she does have a cute little winter festival for her fantasy story, so she is going to be making a video about that. If you want to go check it out, I'll have a link down below when she posts it. But yeah, Ray is just such a sweet and kind person, and She really is such a great friend to me, so please go check out her video. It would mean so much to me, and I know it means so much to her as well. And yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this outro as brief and short as possible so I can finally be done filming this video. But anyways, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe for more. I do post videos very frequently. I post a short every single day and a long form video multiple times every single week. I do plan to post another video going more in depth on like the personalities of Nat and Noelle and Atticus and Catherine and Lenny and all of them. If you want to stay tuned for more of my stuff, then please go click the links in the description box down below. There I have links to my other social media accounts like my Instagram account, Pinterest account, Unveil account, and ArtFed account, and all of that great stuff. If you want to go see my amazing food pics, then go click on my Instagram Grubs account, and yeah. But anyways, I hope that you all guys all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one. Always remember that I love you, and goodbye, eat some more waffles, and peace out, Girl Scouts. Happy holiday season, and Merry Christmas! Hey Mom, I'm recording a video, but once I'm done, I'll come out and say hi to you. I'm sorry.